Hi everyone, this is Denise. Thank you for coming back to my channel. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about diet. And I know sometimes that people have asked me lots of things over social media and about food items specifically, like is this good or is this bad or whatever. And I know for me, I've been very strict and and to some extent a little bit of a purist when it came to my children's diet, but I felt I needed to be because I knew what I was dealing with my son especially, running tests and everything that he was going through and all of his symptoms. I mean, he was just a hot mess. So I knew that I wanted big results. And I wanted miracles, so I had to go big or go home. So I threw myself into getting his diet right. So it would be, I remember one time, I think it was my sister, and she gave him something to drink, and I forgot what it was, but whatever it was not, he wasn't supposed to have. And I just went, straight maniac on her. And looking back now, I laugh because I was like, wow, like I wasn't playing no games. But again, sometimes you have to do that. So we've had several years at this, and we've come to a place where we have better gut health and we have more healing. So I'm not as I'm not as psycho about it as I was before, but I'll say to any parent that, especially as they're starting off in their journey, depending on their child, they may have to be that strict when it comes to diet. They may have to go, no wheat, no dairy, no soy, no sugar, no this, no that. That may be what has to happen. Whereas other families, depending on what they have going on, they may have to take it in stages. And I know I say it often, and I stand by that, get rid of the wheat and the dairy. And I know for some people it may not be as easy for them, but I recognize that. But I will implore you that because we're dealing with toxicity, because we're dealing with inflammation, our kids are dealing with so much that the priority is that we have to get their guts working, their brains working again. And it starts with diet. So the faster we can get you there, and that's why I'm so passionate about it, the better. But I do know for some people, you have to meet them where they are. And there's a lot of other variables that are at play when we talk about diet. For some people, it's finances. It's their budget may not allow for all of those other things. But at the same time, they may live in a food desert where certain foods may not be as accessible to them as it is to others. So I do understand that. But again, we got to meet people where they are. So if what you have available to you are some gluten-free packaged chicken nuggets, and you're starting at ground zero and you're right at the beginning where you're changing your child's diet and that's all you can afford, or that's all you have access to do that. Go ahead and give that child that gluten-free, packaged nuggets. But also, as you're doing that, please educate yourself on how to read food labels and understanding certain words and certain labels, because marketing, they've gotten slick out here in these streets. So just because something says gluten-free or organic or lactose-free does not necessarily mean that it's casein-free, doesn't necessarily mean that it does not have wheat in it or does not have glutamate in it. So we have to become savvy. We have to educate ourselves as well. So if you're starting at ground zero and all you can do is whatever, the chicken nuggets, do that. But give yourself in steps. So for the first 6 months, we're gonna address gluten. We're gonna get rid of all the gluten. We're gonna be gluten free. And then you build onto the next thing. The next thing will be dairy free. Then now you're gluten free and you're dairy free. Sometimes you have to take it in stages, especially with some of these kids. You have to, especially some of these kids, depending on how long they have been eating wheat and dairy. They are, and I say this lovingly, they are pretty much crackheads when it comes to these substances, because again, it produces these opiate-like behaviors with them. So they are addicted. And if your kid has been doing this for a while, you're gonna get some resistance. But know that you will get resistance and you're prepared for that. But you take it in stages. So now that you're gluten-free and dairy-free, now you can move on to being soy-free on top of that. And then perhaps maybe you can move on to being sugar-free or even low sugar, depending on your situation. You'll learn to, as I said before, you'll learn to decipher through labels and determine what natural flavors means or code words for gluten. I think I put this on my Instagram, a list of different words that you'll see on packages and what it really means. But as you get better, you'll become more comfortable with the diet. It'll become second nature to you. And again, as you're learning, you'll be able to also spot an infraction when you see one. Because if you know that little Sally has been gluten-free and dairy-free, and whatever her symptoms were that she was exhibiting when she was eating all that stuff, and all of a sudden now she's jumping off the walls, you're like, wait, what's going on with Sally? And then come to find out, you find out that maybe there was an infraction at school, or somebody gave her something, or the teacher handed her, I don't know, something for good behavior. I don't know. But the point is, you'll be able to educate yourself and you'll become better at it, and it won't be such a challenge. I spoke about this in the previous video that sometimes when you have a child that's on a special diet, everybody may have to be on a special diet, because you want to remove the temptation. And I just want to say, like, real quickly, like the other day we had family over for the holidays, and some of them brought in certain items that I normally don't even have in my house. And just like that, my kid was like, "Ooh, can I have some?" Or so-and-so's drinking it, or blah, 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 blah. And I immediately had to just throw it away. And it was painful for me because I'm like, I grew up in a very different household where you just don't throw away food. Like, you ain't doing that. But I had to get rid of it because just the temptation of it alone being in the house was enough to throw her off of her diet and throw her off of what we're trying to reteach her about food and about health. So hopefully this video was helpful. I just wanted it to be, encouraging to parents who are out there who are struggling with diet or thinking like, oh my God, like I can't be all these things. And, Denise is saying you got to do this and I can't do that right now. It doesn't mean that what you're doing should be disregarded. Start with where you are and then work towards the goal. If the goal is proper gut health, if the goal is reduced inflammation and toxicity to the brain, start from the beginning and build. If you can jump all in, jump all in. But don't feel as though just because you can't be there yet, that it's still not worth doing. So again, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.